So if I were you, I would actually highlight the ad drop deadline for the spring semester. Can anybody tell me what that is?
September 10.
Yes.
Oh,
There
you
go.
said spring semester. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm blinking. Help.
I'm like, couldn't even catch it, so.
Oh, did you guys say September 10th? No, spring semester. What day is it? Okay, and then for the fall semester?
September 10th.
There you go. Okay, and now we can turn to page 6. Okay? Awesome. So, let's see. What is this? If I had candy, I'd give you answers like for candy, but I don't have candy. It's okay. I mean,
It's a thought that
got
counts.
celery sticks. You want those? Let's see. So, if you look at page 6, you can basically see all the administration and organization offices, as well as how it's basically laid out here at SDSU. So, because we are in the College of Business, FYI, we're in the College of Business, you should be looking at like the dean, the assistant dean, and then also the departments and schools right over here. And then if you look over here, you can see like the office of the president, the provost, office of the vice president, student affairs, all these different things. So it'll basically tell you who's working there and then what their title is as well. All right? Let's turn to page 10. Aha. Okay, so this basically goes over how academic advising works here. We do have a dual system for academic advising. That means you have a major academic advisor and then you also have a general education academic advisor. All right? Basically, you can go to the Academic Advising Center, and that will be where you can get your general education. And then over here, you can see pre-professional advising, and then your separate college advising as well. So if you're interested in like pre-med, pre-law, definitely go to these pre-professional advising offices and dial that number as well if you want any further information. Let's see. Oh. If you look back on page 10, it'll go over like seeing an advisor, final for graduation, and then also like right here it says plan your advising session during non-peak times. So because you guys register basically today, it's not really that important, but as you get into your basically the regimen and the system of why can't I talk? Why am I not able to talk? Sorry.
That's a mood.
No, but basically what that's saying is during non-peak times, what that means is basically the current way of registering for classes is you register for spring in November and you register for fall in April. So basically October is the peak time, so you want to do it either before or after that, preferably not after, because then you're kind of out of luck at that point. And then in April, you basically want to do it before March and April, so that way you are able to spend as much time with the advisor as possible. Okay? All right, page 14. This basically goes over undergraduate admission requirements, right? You're all here, so we don't really have to worry about that. Okay? 22. If I could flip my own page, that'd be nice. So this goes over the requirements for registration, as you can see here. Let me just go over here. And then, can someone read right here the schedule adjustment deadline? Just read like the first couple sentences. Jason, I'm looking at you.
The schedule adjustment period begins when a student first registers on their assigned day and time and runs through the schedule adjustment deadline, which is the 10th day of classes at 11:59 p.m.
There we go. That's all I needed. So what is the ad drop deadline?
10th day of classes.
Which is what? What do we go over?
September 10th in the fall and February 5th in the spring.
There you go.
You get a celery stick.
You get a celery stick, yes. Okay, so if you look right underneath, right here, it'll tell you, obviously. And then if you go down to this paragraph right here, Danielle, can you read that?
Yeah. Instructor initiated drop. Students who do not attend the first class session of a course may be dropped from that course by the instructor within the first 8 class days of the semester.
That's good. So you all understand what that means? So if you don't go that first day of class, the instructor can automatically drop you, okay? So obviously it's important to go to class, but especially if you need that class, going on that first day is really important. All right. We do have a waitlist system here. I would recommend not going on a waitlist just because it makes your life a whole lot easier, but sometimes you can't help it. But we'll go over that as we get to the registration in the labs as well. Let's see. So, determination for residency. This just goes over how you determine if you're a resident of California, and then also if you're a resident of San Diego area in order for like housing purposes as well as like tax purposes and actually knowing what your tuition costs. All right. Let's turn to 25. Speaking of tuition. So, right here it goes over basic tuition and fees, but what you want to pay attention to is undergraduate right here and for 6.1 units or more. So for paying tuition, 6.1 units or more means you're full-time. For financial aid, 12 units or more means you're full-time. All right, so there's just a difference there, but just know for this, it's 6.1 units or more. And then can someone read me that amount, Megan?
3,734.
There you go. And then if you turn to page 26, do we have any out-of-state residents? No? Okay, well if we did, there's an extra 396 per unit cost on top of that. Anybody planning on commuting or bringing a car to campus? Yes? Okay. So if you look up in this corner right here on page 26, you'll see that it goes over parking fees. So 171 is just a regular permit for during the day, and that's for a semester. And then for the 271 right there, that gives you an overnight pass, meaning you can park there overnight in 24 hours. But you also have to pay attention to where you're parking because only some areas are like that. Okay?
So to get a motorcycle because it's only $37 for the semester.
Right.
Literally.
And then if you look right underneath it, you see miscellaneous fees. So this just goes over like if you are taking a lab for some science students, and then if you might actually have to take a lab when you do a science general education. And this is just kind of those fees that are listed, but the class will tell you if you need to do that or not. All right. If you go to page 27, you'll look and see liability for payment. So it just means that you are liable to pay for tuition as long as you are enrolled at SDSU. All right. And then also dishonored check. That's really important. So there is a fee if your check bounces and ends up not being able to pay. All right. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Page 31. Also with tuition, just know that there is payment plans. So if you can't, I know that $3,000 is a lot, especially per semester. But if you can't pay that, there are different payment plans. And there's more information about that on the Student Account Services website. All right. Is everybody on page 31? Awesome. So again, financial aid and scholarships. We do have our own office. And then it also goes over like the cost of living right here. And then does everybody know the free application for federal student aid? Yes? Okay. So what it says on here is that it opens October 1st, but what it doesn't tell you is that it closes March 2nd. So make sure that you get all the information you need and that application in by March 2nd. Let's see. And then obviously scholarships right here. So if you go to that website that I've highlighted right there, sdsu.edu/financial aid, it'll give you a list of scholarships and also information on the FAFSA or the Cal Grant, anything that you want to apply for. Okay. Turn the page for me. So this basically goes over the different student services that we have. So we have the Division of Student Affairs, Career Services I already went over, but it gives you some different insight as to what it does. So you have like the Career Development and Guidance, Aztec Career Connection, as I can't talk anymore, but it's fine. And then if you look on the other page, we also have different things like the Center for Intercultural Relations is really cool. They basically just want to create an open environment to have a dialogue about different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, and just be a very, very inclusive space. Included in the Center for Intercultural Relations, we have the Black Resource Center, the Pride Center, and the Women's Resource Center. All right. Over here, we have the Compact for Success, so the Compact Scholars Program. So if any of you are from the Sweetwater Union High School District, sorry, messed that up, there is a partnership with SDSU to basically help these students go to SDSU and continue until their 4-year graduation or 5-year graduation, whatever. It just makes sure that they graduate. All right. Let's see. Counseling and psychological services. That's a part of the student health services that I went over earlier. And then, let's see, keep it going. If we just flip the page. Still recording. Awesome. Thanks. So, for those of you living on campus, we do have housing administration and residential education office right here. I would just encourage you to read that. Go over the freshman communities right here, especially, because that'll give you a different idea of different communities you can live in that may be suitable for your interests or even your major. Let's see. Again, the International Student Center right down here at the bottom. That would be a great place for you to get help on study abroad, things of that nature. Up over here, if you look on this page right here, page 35, new student parent programs. That's the office we are housed out of as the SDSU ambassadors. We also put on the Aztec Nights that I was talking about earlier, but then we also do new student orientation like we are what we are in right now. Turn the page again. So again, this just goes over what we do in the new student impaired programs office. And then we also have the Office of the Ombudsman. This is really important, so if you have any sort of issue going on here on campus, you can always take it to them, and they'll basically help you solve the issue. All right. We have Student Ability Success Center. Again, that's what I went over earlier with the Student Health Services pamphlet. It basically helps you if you have a physical or invisible or visible disability. All right. Student health services, again, they basically do basic medical, x-rays, dental, that sort of thing. And it's also included in your tuition fees, all right? Let's see, right here is really important to do with student health services, immunization records. I can never talk. But, let's see, can anybody tell me what you're required to have? I'm gonna point at it right here.
MMR.
MMR, yes, that is very important. So you need to have those records in. It should tell you on your web portal what date you need to have that in by, but most likely it's by before the start of the spring semester, okay? Let's see. If we turn the page, you will see Student Life and Leadership. So again, that's something that I went over earlier when we were going through the new student orientation folder. And then we also have student rights and responsibilities, okay? Testing services, this is really good because it basically does tests like the WPA, which you all will be required to take. It's part of the graduation writing assessment requirement of your graduation requirements, okay? Also they do the ACT, the GRE, the LSAT, so if you're looking for further, going further in your education, they'll do those tests as well. Let's see. All right, over here goes over special programs and services. So as you can see, we have academic computing. This is good because the library has over 400 computers that you can use, so if you can't afford a laptop or things like that, you can definitely use the libraries for free. Let's see, Alumni Association, so we do have a alumni base of over 300,000 alumni, all right? And then they'll help you get in touch with other alumni that are a part of the Alumni Association. And then you also, when you graduate, you can be a part of it. Associate students, again, this is something that I went over in the folder. Basically, if you're interested in doing student body government, like in high school, your ASB, then I would encourage you to check this out. It's a really great way to get involved, really good thing to put on your resume. But also included in the associated students, they run the SDSU Children's Center, they run the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater, sorry, I can't talk, keep saying that. Viejas Arena, the Aztec Recreation Center, things like that.